My next speaker is already on her way, and she's taken the rostrum already. We continue with an important topic in Bavaria. More wind power plants in this single county. More wind power plants have been approved than in the rest of Bavaria, and that takes a lot of money to nature conservation. And what can we do with this? And we'll hear about this by Dr. Uta Mitsch. And here, this is Land für Morgen, Land for Tomorrow. So you're a member of the AbL, of the Artisanal Farmers Association. So now you might have some suggestion on how to monetize hedges. That's what we want to hope to hear from you now. You have the floor, Dr. Mitsch. Yes, hello. Thank you very much for the invitation. We have modified the topic, speaking about the monetization and financing of hedges. I'm of Morgen AbL, and you will learn in the course of the presentation where this name comes from. Let me tell you where we are. We're in the northeast of Saxony-Anhalt in Kobbel, so please don't confuse that with the Magdeburg region, which has fertile soils. We were established after the end of the GDR. In 2011, this farm was taken over by the son of the founder of it, and in 2016, a neighboring farm was taken over, so we have an organic farm of nearly 2,000 hectares. That is a unique opportunity to shape the agricultural character of a region. We work on sandy soils with a annual precipitation of 450 millimeters. We have intensive droughts in spring and early summer. We have a large number of mother cows. In Elbland, we got rid of the dairy cows because not economically viable anymore. We have 656 hectares of grassland and 1,250 hectares of cropland. Yes, well, in 2018 we had this extreme drought where we only had 230 millimeters of precipitation for the year. We considered we have to urgently modify our operations, and together with the activities that we had in 2021, we got the Federal Insect Protection Award, which confirmed that we're doing well and which helped us connect, of course, with others. Now, our professional self-understanding, we said we have to think in more complex terms when it comes to agriculture, namely the landscape as a biotope for all organisms. And at the end of the day, that leads to a small-scale mosaic as a basis for a climate-stable agricultural ecosystem. So that allows us to become resilient for the future, and that's why we came up with the idea of calling this to create the land for tomorrow today. And that, of course, means that we have to do a lot of things to structure the landscape. It starts with pathways, alleyways, mixed orchards, hedge structures, woodlands, and agroforest systems. And if you want to do that on the scale that we're planning to do it, you run into problems all the time. It has to do with the property conditions. You have to meet the rules of agricultural subsidies. You have to look at what woods, what plants are available. But financing is the biggest issue. Financing not only for the material but also the labor we put into this. Then, very important, networking. The Insect Protection Award helped us there. We're members in different associations and networks. demo farms, etc. And we try to tap into all sorts of sources of money. It can be foundation sponsors, crowdfunding, or subsidy programs or projects by universities, etc. And here's an overview of the areas that we manage, and what's shown in yellow and green here, that is reopening of pathways of mixed orchards, and then 2 large agroforest areas. I'll show you a few pictures to give you a view of practical work. We had reopened pathways. We allowed strips of land to allow to fall fallow. We have planted individual trees, and you can't imagine how much bureaucracy is involved here. For us to plant 10 trees on 650 hectares of meadows, then rows of trees, and you can see what we bring together in order to get this done. The seeds were financed by Silvicultura, cooperation with a high school, educational work with network of sample operations, and tools made available by Nero Grillkohle, and we registered as an bio account. Then these rows of trees, an orchard, a mixed orchard. Then we replanted forests in order to test this eco account system if we do it ourselves. We have 2 agroforest projects. One is at the winter location of the Charlet, more than 30 hectares of open field where the wind howls through, and we want to establish hedges here to protect the animals. And Aka crowd finances the fence, and then we can start planting. And the next massive project is this area, 150 hectares of one field. It was all one field in the past. We have subdivided already, and our dream would be to have hedges here again, agroforestry as well. And we sat down in 2019 to make a rough plan where would hedges make sense. You always have to look at where do I have property that where I can plant this. And in 2023, we were able to implement a pilot project of agroforest to see what's possible in our extreme location. And now we have Robinia as well, and we add mulberry and hazelnut. This is an image of the first agroforests project where we can harvest. You can see that there's trees there. To get back to the focus of this meeting here today, the hedge structures, there are some elements in the landscape. There are too few of them. They're aged, and we need many more hedges. We need to convince authorities. They're always confused that we want to plant something rather than take things out. And so we submitted all sorts of applications, and they've all been rejected. And we finally got a breakthrough by accident when we found the compensation and replacement measures, and we have to have individual agreements on those. And we have a couple of them already, one with the Water Management Authority of Saxony-Anhalt. So we have this for a period of 30 years. This was taken out of the agricultural space, and we got a compensation of 10,000 euro per hectare, and we're not even responsible for maintenance. So that allowed us to implement a number of hedges, several kilometers. We placed some hedges all the way to the next village. We subdivided areas. We had a very wide wind protection strip along the Elbe River. We also had restrictions that they must not be any wider than 15 meters. And now we have the problem that all these hedges are 20 meters wide, and this is why we don't get any subsidies. That was a trap we fell into. Second financing variant is by the Road Authority of Saxony-Anhalt, where we made spaces available free of charge. And after they established the hedges, we have to take care of the maintenance. That's an unfair deal because we don't get any compensation. But I have to say they did a great, established a great hedge. And the other hedges with the other deal were not so nice, and we're glad we don't have to take them over. Now, this is what the hedge looks like now. There's the first one that became visible in our landscape. It's 1 kilometer long, and what we really didn't realize, we saw only in terms of wind protection, and people from the village came and say, great, we can start walking around, because with all these huge fields, people can't walk anywhere anymore. So there are other financing options. We did something with Ackerkraut. That's an initiative from the Berlin area. We planted an edible wind protection hedge, so they financed the plants and they helped in planting it. The rest was our work. And the other thing was the species immediate program of Saxony-Anhalt. That was really difficult to get this subsidy, but the maintenance, again, is up to us. And that's why you're soon at the limit of what you can do. It's really an expensive and time-consuming hobby, because we would do this in a different way with this wind protection hedge. Well, it became very nice, this hedge, and we got some labeling as well, or some signage. So what does it mean to plant woodlands? Well, we need good soil preparation. We used machines to plant, to put the plants down. Then we have to have herbs that are added as well. And it's very difficult what you can establish on such an extreme soil as we have it. And we are still improving after losing a lot of different species. And the more difficult your location, the more difficult it becomes. And so the subsidy structure must take that into consideration. Now, the problems, it's a huge cost and labor. It's a big risk for farmers if they decide to establish such woodlands and hedges. So it's the maintenance that's very expensive and a big time factor. So you have to calculate it very well. It's an economic risk, but we need the woodlands and hedges in our landscape, because we are really suffering from drought, and it feels like the wind is becoming worse every year, and it is drying out the landscape. And we've been able to observe this trend since 2018 by the latest. We are in the middle of climate change. We need to do something about it. And we've discussed it before. We need to move towards implementation. Above all, we need to bring the farmers on board. We need them in order to reach the goal. It's a societal issue. We have to wonder, where do we want to go? So thank you very much for your attention.
Uta Mitsch, thank you very, very much. Absolutely impressive to hear what you've been doing. Our authority helped and supported my hedge. I would like to see this in more easy way. Very impressive, the efforts that you made. So it's there. And I would really like to hear more of that warning. All of the drought is the point where this energy change is not a thing. You should talk there. So, Uta Mitsch, thank you very much.